Today, we're honored to share the story of a true four-legged hero, Sergeant Bo, the 2025 American Humane Hero Dog Award winner, and his devoted handler, Faye Okert. A therapy dog, retired from the Metro Nashville Police Department, Sergeant Bo has touched countless lives through his calm presence, his gentle spirit, and unwavering compassion. Once a stray, he's gone on to serve children and adults in moments when comfort mattered most. Being named this year's American Humane Hero Dog is a powerful testament to the impact Sergeant Bo has made in his community and beyond. We are so grateful to celebrate both Sergeant Bo and Faye on this episode of Robin's Nest. Welcome to Robin's Nest. Many of us feel a deep bond with animals, from the pets we cherish at home to the endangered species in nature. Join us for lively, informative conversations where together we will build a more humane world. Faye, welcome. Welcome to our American Humane Sanctuary, and you're here with Sergeant Bo, the 2025 American Humane Hero Dog. Congratulations.
Thank you, and thank you for having us
Oh,
and all that you do for the hero dogs and other animals around the world.
Oh, well, Faye, it's our privilege and our honor. But we're so proud to tell today Sergeant Bo's amazing, amazing story. Could you walk us through where he's from and how he got into your incredible hands?
So Sergeant Bo was roaming the streets of Cocoa Beach, September of 2022. Had a little bit of a skin disease.
By the way, Cocoa Beach, for those Floridians, you know that was the home of I Dream of Jeannie way back in the day, am I right?
Oh, yeah.
Cocoa Beach, the home of the astronauts.
He kind of liked his time on the beach, I think.
I'm sure.
So he was picked up and taken to Brevard County Animal Shelter. And there's a program called Paws and Stripes. You know, Sheriff Wayne Ivey.
Sheriff Wayne Ivey, by the way, for those of you that don't know Brevard County, he's a hero, he's a legend, and he is a great animal lover. So a huge shout out today to Sheriff Wayne Ivey.
This is the reason we have him. He runs a program for 12 weeks where inmates take care of the dogs. And the reality is the dogs take care of the inmates as well. It gives them something to love and to care for. And then we had 12 weeks. We tested out with him, and he went back to Nashville as a therapy dog. We were a therapy dog team for the Metro Nashville Police Department. And that's how we got started.
Well, I have to say, what an amazing program. And first of all, to hear prisoners being able to share in the healing power of the human-animal bond, I give Sheriff Wayne Ivey and all sheriffs around the country a great shout out and kudos, because what an incredible way to give someone a chance to heal. And it also gives a second chance for a dog.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a win-win on all levels. But there's even more of a story here, friends, that just gets me every single time. But before we get to the story of one of Sergeant Bo's superpowers and amazing tales of why he's America's top hero dog, I have to ask a little bit about you, Faye. Tell me who you are and what you've been doing.
I started with the Metro Nashville Police Department in 1991 as a police officer. So I worked 34 and a half years before finally him and I retired together in June. Well, I say retired. We're both doing the same thing we were doing, only now we're just volunteering to do it. I spent 34 and a half years on the police department.
Thank you for your service.
The best part of it was having him. 18 years was spent in schools as a school resource officer with kids. And then the last 3, we roamed around the schools and helped countless kids. Not even kids, it's staff members.
Yes.
That we helped, you know. I think I spent the last 3 years seeing the job from a different viewpoint, because I get to see at the other end of the leash what he does for people, you know. So I'm proud of him. But then you look at people that come towards him to start their day, or when they're having problems, kids that, you know, kids have all kinds of trauma and stress nowadays.
They do.
And he just changes their world. And I get to see that from a different point of view. So that was definitely the best 3 years of my police 34-year career.
34-year career as a police officer, so much of that spent in schools with kiddos, and you've seen kiddos face huge trauma. But let me go back to the incredible story of when you first saw and met your new partner, Sergeant Bo. Take us back to that day.
So you don't get a choice of what dog you get. You send them a preference. And so I said I wanted a female short-haired dog. Well, as you can tell, they didn't pay any attention to me, I guess. So the week before I came to Florida to pick him up and to train with him, they send me a picture of this dog. I love him to death, don't get me wrong. And I cried. I'm like, people are going to make fun of me when I get out of a police car. This is an ugly dog. I am not taking him, but people are going to make fun of me. So I come to Florida, and he makes me pay for this. I come to Florida, and I asked the trainer, I said, I'm not taking him. I asked for a female short-haired dog. I said, people will make fun of me. She said, no. She said, he's going back to Nashville.
He's going to
he
go to Nashville, Tennessee.
It's definitely a God thing. I mean, because she could have very easily given me another dog.
Yes.
And, she said, no, he's going back to Nashville, and never understood that. But it's a great lesson. We've learned great lessons. We're able to teach kids. So that's one of the big selling points when I talk to kids is so many kids mistreat other kids because they're different looking or because they're new. And I tell them, don't treat somebody bad or don't judge somebody because they look different from you or they look different from me or they talk different. Give them a chance. So because I didn't. Look at what I would have lost.
Yes.
Had they not said, no, he's going back to Nashville. So it's been a great learning lesson for kids. He's been a great lesson because kids get to learn second chances are real.
Yes.
Second chances are so important. Adults get to learn second chances are so important, especially for dogs that through no fault of their own, they're in shelters,
That's
or they're being euthanized and stuff. So,
or they're walking through Cocoa Beach as a stray.
Yep. With no interest. No, he had no interest of adoption, and that's why Sergeant IBM took him into the program.
Sheriff Ivy took him into the program. I want to just say, first of all, as we look at Sergeant Bo, I think he's so stinking cute. He's so stinking cute. I just think he's adorable. But he is a mixed breed, and I know people are going to say, what is in him? Can you share with us what is in him?
We actually
this gorgeous beauty,
and I think he's beautiful now too.
Yes.
We did a DNA test on him. He's part pit, part golden retriever, part poodle, and 8% they couldn't identify.
8% couldn't identify.
He's a little bit of everything.
8% supernatural powers is what he is.
He is 100% good boy.
And
that's why he wears the vest that says 100% good boy.
I want to make sure we get this because that's really important because he is 100% good boy.
And now he wears a medal.
He's the hero dog winner too. I want to just step back too because it's a big story that you have to tell. And the story so far, before we share with our listeners what else, is already a hero dog story. First of all, you are a hero as a police officer serving your great community, then going in and serving in the schools where we know kids are traumatized. It's a very different environment today in a school than it was when I was being raised and you were being raised.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, you're going to be partnered with the dog. You see him. He's not exactly what you looked for, but you got him anyway because she said he's going back home with you, the trainer.
She did.
And then you're going to take him to schools, and he's already got a second chance story. So I love the love of this. And right there, that's the whole mission of the Hero Dog Awards. But there's something else, friends, that you must hear. And this goes into the heart of what makes this dog and this woman so special to me. And be prepared, have a tissue out, because I want Faye to tell us the story of the Covenant School shooting tragedy.
So he came to work for us January of 2023. So I'd had him 3 months when on March 27th of 2023, we had a school shooting in Nashville at the Covenant School. We had not been there prior. So we heard the call. Well, we heard the call go out. Everybody starts that way. And we knew that we would be somewhere. So we went and waited until we figured out where the kids were going. And so they asked us, as soon as the buses arrived at the church where the kids were going to be reunited, they asked us to get on the school buses. So you can imagine, I'm like, I've had the dog 3 months. He was only 6 months off of being a stray on the streets. That in itself shows that it doesn't take a lot of training. It takes the basics and a dog that can love. So when the buses got there, we get on the buses with the kids. And he walked right up on the bus like a trooper, I mean, like he had done it every day. And you instantly could see the kids' direction towards him. And you could just feel the tension when you got on the bus, and it changed when he got on there. So we explained to him what was going on, and we actually had smiles, if you can believe that, after what they had been through. And
A horrific school shooting
yes,
in
it
which
was
too many children have faced.
three died that day. 3 children died, and 3 adults died that day. So
6 people lost their lives.
yeah. So we once we got off the buses, we actually made it to the into the building where the kids were going to come in before the kids ever got there. And so we greeted each and every kid, each and every student that got off the bus, and staff members. We kind of forget about the staff sometimes.
Can't forget about the staff. They're the
People always
heartbeat. They're the heartbeat.
people always say the police were the heroes that day. No, the staff was the hero that day, because they're the ones that kept the numbers down, because they did what they needed to do. So everybody greeted them, and we spent the rest of the afternoon, and it seemed like it was forever, in the room with the kids, and they were all divided up into classes and grades, and we walked around, and he'd lay down with a group of kids, and he had trading cards, and there was probably kids that had 6 or 7 of them, because they'd come back and get more and more. And I had pictures where, I mean, they just laid on top of him. It's amazing what he did that day. I remember one teacher coming up, and we had sat with a student, and she said, "Oh, he needed that so much." And I don't know why, because she didn't say that, because they all needed it. Then we had one student, they came and got me, and they said, "Can you come and sit with our friend? She's really upset." And she couldn't find her sister. So he did an amazing job that day.
And so did you.
I give him the credit, though.
Of course.
I did him the credit. We didn't stop. I didn't realize it till afterwards. I got to thinking about it. We never took a break. I gave him some water, and we stayed for hours. We stayed until the very last person left the church. It wasn't until the last student was gone that I couldn't tell who was staff and who was students. I didn't know anybody. And when the kids were gone, you could tell then who the staff was. So we stayed for them and their families, and till the last person. And then I had made a promise that when they went back to school, that we would be there. And we were. When they come back, they were going back to a church, because they obviously couldn't go back into their building. And I knew the impact we made, because we were standing there waiting for the kids, and they were getting out of the car, and they were coming up to him, calling him by name and hugging him. And I'm like, you just went through what you went through, but you remember a dog's name.
Of course.
You know. And then I had parents getting out of the car, and they were telling me that their child didn't come home and talk about what happened that day. Their child came home talking about this dog named Sergeant Bo, and they were all happy to meet Sergeant Bo. So we've kind of made it. We made it our mission. We go back some week, but we started out, it was a few times a week, but even now we're not with the police department. We drive about an hour each week to make sure we go each week, and because I know on the first year's anniversary, it was the day of. It was a job. It was a job for us. It didn't know anybody. Sure, it's hard, but now it's not. It's not a job. They're family, and we've become part of their family, and you just can't ask for a better relationship with kids than a dog. And the things that he did that day, I mean, when we talk about unconditional love and the love that he showed them, and then I have to sit and think that 6 months prior to that, he was roaming the streets. 3 months prior to that, he came to work after being with inmates for 12 weeks.
You said it was a God thing. That trainer said, "You're going home
Well,
together."
I believe that.
He was on the streets 6 months before this, an incredible hero opportunity for him to serve. But what Sergeant Bo is the best of the human-animal bond. You have a story of second chances for prisoners and for this precious creature. You have a lesson in it's not always about the haircut or the looks, right? Because his hair, I mean, it's kind of fun over here. I love the hairdo. It's also about this power we have, this connection we have with animals in our lives. And I just love that you both have touched so many children in such a positive way after facing the most unimaginable tragedy and the loss of their own security and safety. And you brought them that sense back, and so did Sergeant Bo. It's one of the most powerful stories we've had in all of our years of Hero Dogs. We have 15 years now of hero dogs that we have celebrated. This one, it just gets me every single time. Faye, you are a hero. Congratulations. And what are you and Sergeant Bo going to do next?
Oh, we're working on a children's book.
Yes.
And with that children's book, once I find somebody that can help me, because that's not in my wheelhouse, I want the lessons that you learn for kids about second chances.
Yes.
And so important, about love.
Yeah.
Show a little love goes a long, long way in this world. And then about not judging a book by the cover.
Yeah.
And how important that is. And we still visit. I mean, honestly, we're looking, Christmas Day, we actually changed up how we do Christmas. And I took him to a nursing home.
Oh, I love that.
And we had never been, and it was, we didn't have much to do. So I said, let's do something different. And we took him to a nursing home. And I remember, I had a lady that said, can you put him in the bed with me? And sure. So I put him up in the bed, and I have a picture where her hands are here and from the backside. And I'm like, he does it with everybody.
Yes.
Not and all dogs. So you look at the stories of all of these dogs.
Yes.
It just shows. Thank you for spotlighting what a stray mutt. You don't have to have this breed. You don't have to have years of training. You can take these shelter dogs that need homes, and they're going to give you all the love, and they can be the best therapy dogs around.
That's exactly right.
So,
and as a therapy dog, friends, it's different than a service dog. Service dogs have different sets of requirements, and the service dog provides service to one individual. And you'll meet our award-winning, our hero dog in the service category soon. And we have a number of service dogs we've celebrated and honored over the years. You see service dogs for wounded warriors facing PTS and TBI, like our Pups for Patriots program, where we provide service dogs free of charge, of course, to veterans facing those invisible wounds of war. You see service dogs for people who are hearing afflicted or who are blind. You see service dogs for people facing a diagnosis of, all sorts of different categories. There's diabetes service dogs that can indicate certain levels of insulin and really help save lives. Service dogs work for that one person. Therapy dogs, such as Sergeant Bo, they work for everyone else, where they just give unconditionally to all groups and show the healing power of the human-animal bond. And that's a different kind of training, a different kind of category to celebrate of special working dogs. And in this case, this is America's top hero dog for this year. Faye, congratulations. Sergeant Bo, I just think you're so gorgeous. You could have come home with me any day, that's for sure, but I'm glad you went home with Faye, and I'm glad you made such a difference in Nashville.
I get a call from that trainer periodically that after he won, he says, what about that ugly dog you didn't want? So
how about the little I told you so there on that one?
He has a gift. He has a gift of knowing what people need. And I don't know how, only he knows that, but he doesn't push himself. He just has a great gift to know what you need when you need it.
So what is Sergeant Bo's superpower?
The gift of comfort. There's no doubt that he reads a room. He can walk into a room, and if you're sad, he's going to lay down with you. He's going to give you time. He's not going to push himself on you. Like, there's been kids kicking walls and stuff. He doesn't push himself. He just stands there and waits. People that are happy, he might play around just a little bit with them. He knows what people need, and it's a great gift.
The gift of comfort. There's nothing better.
Gift of comfort.
Well, Faye, thank you for being here in Robin's Nest. We're so proud to know you.
Thank you for having us.
And congratulations, Sergeant Bo.
Thank you for tuning in to Robin's Nest. We want to hear what you think. Please make sure to review the podcast on your podcast platform. Watch for upcoming episodes that will include new and exciting discussions. If you love animals, you'll love this season of Robin's Nest.